All right, good morning. Let's see here. Wow, good morning. Hey, I have to admit, I can't be the only one. I know I'm not the only one, but this is one of those things when you admit it and then everyone jumps on you, right? But being down two games, losing the first two games at home, I did not have a good feeling about this World Series. But of course, everyone's going to jump on me, telling me I'm not a believer and all that stuff. I'm not. I'm a Met fan, right? What can I tell you? As a Met fan, I'm like, oh, it's over, right? Just go move on to the next thing. So I did not have a good feeling, but holy cow, this has been absolutely crazy. Five road wins, and now we're on to game six. I know a lot of our friends are going to be out there in game six. So that was absolutely just a great World Series so far. I'm super excited about it. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a couple things today. Specifically, this little thing I talk about where we're talking about the 89%, right? The 89% of folks out there. Um, so first, we're going to just define when I say the 89%, because that's just going to be my little tagline here. Forbes, prior to the Great Recession with Obama, so back in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, when I was first starting to be left my W-2 job and went off and started my businesses, my consulting business, I'd done a lot of research. I won't say a lot, but I've done enough research that I felt good about my decision. But I looked across the landscape and figured out, for those of us who remember the macroeconomics class, there's four things, right? There's resources, there's labor, there's capital, and then there's the guy or person who goes out on a limb and puts it all together, right? The four things for any business: resources, capital, people, and the entrepreneur. And then when I looked up in Forbes, typically up to that point, up to about 2010, said 11% of the population of the workforce, 11% of the people out there, they would classify as entrepreneurs. Now, when we go back to the rich dad, poor dad chart, there's the employee, the solo employee, the business owner, and the investor. And everything on this side is where I feel are really entrepreneurs. I think that, and this is, again, no judgment, it's not better, it's simply different. My definition of the solo entrepreneur is just that: still a worker, still not creating a business, a wealth, that type of thing. And I think people move from there. They move from the solo spot up to the business owner spot all the time. So we look at it and we say, hey, okay, so that's the deal. The solo person and the employee person are still employees. They're still on that side of the cash flow quadrant, right? You got to be in that business side right there. So that's 11%. And so when I say the 89%, I'm talking about everyone else, right? 11% on this side, 89% on that side. I don't forget what I was watching. I took yesterday as a complete zonk day, just zonked out. But I feel great today. I just had a great meeting with my partner, getting some things focused. And this led me to this conversation. It's like, hey, and we talked about it. We were very blunt in our conversations, Jason and I. It's like, we're failing here, we're failing there. What do we got to do? It's like, all right, let me think about some of that stuff, and maybe we need a new key person involved, and let's sit down tomorrow morning and go through it. We'll go grab breakfast somewhere, and we'll just kind of piece through who we need and find some. I think what our organization is missing at this point is some linchpins, as Seth Godin describes them. These linchpin people in really critical positions that can keep the team around them. We've got some good workers in good positions. Now we need some linchpin people. And we look at that and we say to ourselves, we say right in our conversation, right, just 5 minutes before I started this, we failed here and we failed there. How do we fix it? And I think what happens is, and I can just remember growing up in my house, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, where failure was not looked at as a reason to improve. Failure was always the reason to quit. You got a pass when you fail. Oh, you tried. It's okay. Time to go back to the other job. Time to go back to the other girl. Time to go back to the other state. Time to go back to the other car. It was always a reason. You got the reason to quit. That's what failure was, a reason to quit. And I can say in our world, in this 11% of the population, it can never be viewed that way. You can never, ever, ever think that failure is your reason to quit. You can be completely out of money, completely out of resources, completely out of people. That doesn't mean you quit. You may have to step back, a lot of steps, which I've had to do, which we're doing tomorrow. We're taking 2 steps back. Hey, we got people here, but we don't have a key person. We got to get some key people involved. The businesses, Jason and I have created over this first almost a year now is a real estate acquisition company, right? It's a turnkey from a postcard to a 18-month or Airbnb tenant. And it's everything, almost everything in between. But we've been pretty aggressive and we look at it and we have some failures. And we need to hire some better people and some different people and some other people. We need to outsource some things. So we look at it and say, hey, we're failing here. We got to stop, take a look, fix it. And again, your mom, your dad, your family, the people around you that give you a pass on failure are not good for you. Right? Unfortunately, that's the tough thing. The people that give you a pass on failure are probably your worst friends. Your worst friends. I mean, I'm in a room and I can hear some, and it used to happen a lot. I just shut my mouth these days. But I'd be in a room and someone would be like, "Oh, it didn't work, and it failed, and I don't know." And I'd be like, "Wow, that sucks. How much money did you lose? Oh, you better get your ass out there and do it again. This time, fix it." And people would be like, "Oh my God, Robert, you're such an a-hole. I can't believe you said that." I'm like, "What do you mean? He failed. He better get his shit together and go fix it." And everyone in the room staring at me. And I'm like, oh, and I didn't realize. I'm like, what's the problem? The guy said he's an entrepreneur, started his business, and then failed. That's okay. Hey, man, there's next year. How are we going to do this better next year? Do you need my help? You want to sit down? You want to do a little round robin? You want to do a little business charrette? What do we need to do? But everyone in the room was, oh my God, I can't believe Robert said that. Oh my God. Did he really say that? Oh my God, doesn't he know that Michael failed and he's just poking at the open wound? Fuck off. What are you talking about? Michael failed. He's got to get this shit back on the bike and get going. When you're in that room and you hear that, oh, it's okay. You can always go back. There's, maybe you could talk to your boss about getting your job back. Or wasn't there another job that you were going to go get? Don't worry about this silly business thing. I'm going to tell you right now, you're in the wrong fucking room. Run the fuck out of that room as fast as possible. Get out. Failure is an opportunity to improve, not an excuse to quit. You know when you quit? When you're rich or dead. So too many people, that 89%, use failure as an excuse to quit. We, the entrepreneurs, the folks that are out there, sticking our head out there, no, we don't do that. Even the solopreneur. No. Nope. Can't get any clients? Well, this sucks. You better go out and 1099 a salesperson. At least a warm lead generator so we can set it up. Our problem, our failure is we collect at the top of the funnel massively. We are collecting so many leads at the top of the funnel. We don't have enough organization and the right people in place to sort the leads. That's our failure. That's our failure. This morning, I'm sitting down and I'm going through about, let me think here. $219,000 worth of opportunity that is on the deck, like right there. Just got to send the information, send a contract, send the spreadsheet. Should be able to close this week. $219,000 coming in this week. Right? Amidst, there's $219,000 of opportunities sitting on my laptop right here, right now, that have got to get done. It's going to get out to the public. It's going to get out to where it needs to get going, where you get some of these things. We may not close everything, but there's 219 of opportunities sitting in front of me right now, this day, amidst and involved in all of this failure. Today, $219,000 in proposals and sales contracts go out the door, and we are still failing in our company. Imagine if I quit. Imagine if I took the excuse, we don't have good leadership on this team. Let's just stop. Nope. Keep going. Keep going. I mean, listen, there's 3 or 4 failures behind me right now that I have not had the time to address because I've got $219,000 of opportunity sitting in front of me. That's literally $219,000 coming in. On top of, we should be closing a $75,000 deal today. We should have $75,000 coming in today. Almost $300,000. Now, and then we got 2-3 closings at the end of the week. So another 18. Yeah, $318,000 is what's on the table for us this week. We have to work it. We got to bring it in. Half of it's in one deal, so the other half is all these piecemeal. We got to bring it in, but we have some failures in our organization. And these are really failures of myself and Jason's, not necessarily the people working for us. We just don't have the organization quite set up quite the right way, and so we've got to tweak it. But that is in no way an excuse for us to quit. And I think you're kind of getting this. Yeah, thanks, man. Sorry. I do drop a few F-bombs. It's a little Jersey in me. So I'm here on this Monday morning telling you, as always on Monday, sit down, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, list out the quickest cash opportunities. What's going to make you money? What can we close on in the next 24 hours or 5 days? What can we close on today? What can we close on this week? Write those things down. Admit and recognize when there is failure and seek to improve it in your downtime. Busy work should not be, let me go on Facebook and post a few inspirational quotes. I have a secret for you. It's a secret. All those inspirational posts on my Facebook page, I pay someone else to do. I'm not posting them. I don't have time for that. But I feel there's a need to put that out there. I feel there's a need to put some information on real estate investing out there. I simply don't have time to do it. I want to do it. It was a failure of mine. I had a mentor say, Rob, you just simply don't post enough on Facebook. You're not keeping up with the algorithm and you're not providing value. You got to go out there and provide value. I'm like, I don't have time to do that. So I hired someone who goes out there and does our little Instagram posts and puts the inspirational quotes up. And we sit down once a month and we say, hey, let's focus on this. So find any articles about investing out of state. She puts those articles up. She puts a lot of information up there. People see it. They read it. They find value in it. They move on. That was a failure of mine that I corrected for, I don't know, $150 a week. The key is to address the failure and not to quit. Imagine had I said, "Oh, forget it then. I'm just quitting Facebook. I don't have time to put the footsteps on the sand picture up there. I quit." No, we generate lots of leads, lots of investors, lots of great references off of Facebook. I've got to stay active here. So remember, when we talk about that other 89%, that 89% of the people are simply the people that are in that sort of W-2 world, maybe that 1099 world. There's a difference down here in this cash flow quadrant. It's actually this quadrant to you. Over here, what we're talking about, that solo entrepreneur, I agree that some people are there and they want to take the step to the business owner, right? They want to go from here from here to there. They want to go from here to there. They want to go to the business quadrant, right? But there are also a lot of people right here who are just here because they don't want to pay taxes. They do 1099, write everything they can possibly off, only do as much income as they need to survive, and don't really want to pay any more taxes. That's not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur pays taxes, lots of taxes, right? So the people that are in that solopreneur world that are really just avoiding taxes, I don't kind of include them, right? But there are people in that solopreneur world who want to be up here, right? They want to move up to the next quadrant, who are just working on it, started their business themselves at their dining room table and move forward. So the 11% of that population, it's again from my macroeconomic days. It's just an understanding that those 11% are the entrepreneurs. You need capital, resources, and labor, and an entrepreneur to start any business. And without the entrepreneur, the business doesn't thrive. There's no such thing as social capitalism. There's no such thing as democracy in capitalism. It doesn't work. Someone's got to be in charge. Someone's got to say, "We have failed. I take the blame. Time to move on." Think about that. I mean, we're in political times, right? So everyone's talking about politics, but imagine, someone has got to take the blame. And that's what the owner is. That's what the managers are for, right? That's what the people that start the business do. So those 89% of the world that have the W-2 jobs or have the 1099 jobs where they're trying to avoid taxes, and the 11% of us that actually create jobs and create wealth and create big businesses and put products out there into the world, those are the entrepreneurs. The 11% is what I'm talking about. They can never, ever accept failure. Don't do it. Now, there are times where the opportunity has just simply disappeared, right? Like we wanted that hotel. We wanted that hotel. We put a lot of money into getting that hotel. Everything was supposed to work out. We would do our due diligence in 3 days before everything goes hard. We find a problem and we have to back out. There's no going back to that one, right? That's a deal that will not work. We moved on. In the big picture, yeah, it's a failure, but what we've taken out of it is we know how to do due diligence better. We know what to hit quicker, so we're not going up the last day. We understand some of the mechanics of the town a little bit better, right? We certainly understand hospitality a lot better. We spent a good 6 weeks of burning time on how to prepare for this, and we'll use that. But here's the deal. Last time, you guys cannot accept people around you who tell you it's okay to quit. Never, ever, ever. You will be so much better served and so better off when you identify the people around you that tell you it's okay to quit. You have to leave those people behind. They cannot be in your circle of friends. They cannot be a part of that 5. You've got to get rid of them. And this is hard. People don't want to hear it. And the other problem is if you call them mom or dad or husband or wife, right? That's even more complicated. But anyone who tells you when you fail that it's okay to quit is not helping you. Not if you're trying to be part of the 11%. If you're an employee and all that stuff, great. That's not a problem. But they will hurt you. I have a partner on some project we're doing, and he was I'm about 3-4 years ahead of him in real estate investing. We're at a Salada one day, and he's like, "Man, this thing came up. This thing came up. I'm $50,000 in the hole," and I just started laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, welcome to the show, my friend." And that did not sit well with him. And his other partner was like, "Holy cow, I can't believe you said it to him." I'm like, why wouldn't I say it to him? Who other than us can understand and find humor in this? Anyway, failure is just a step up. It's just a way to improve. And unfortunately, there's too many people around you that will tell you that failure is an excuse to quit, and too many of us believe them. Find the 5 people around you who tell you failure is a learning option, failure is a way to improve, failure is just another door that opened up. And we can get into all those pretty little semantic things, right? But find those 5 people. And they will be a little bit rude sometimes. They may not be loving. They may not be the S's, the mommies of the world. They may be the D's, the dicks. Slap you on the back, say, woof, yeah, another 50 grand loss, right? Keep those people around you. If you want to feel safe and you want to feel warm and cuddled, this is not the world for you. It don't work. It simply doesn't work that way. All right, hey, that's enough. Once you get that little shift, once you realize that what I just discussed here for 15 minutes makes sense to you and saying, fuck, yeah, that's right. And next time you're in a crowd and you talk about, yeah, this guy beat me in the plumbing and we bought this house and we thought it was $30,000 rehab and I went over $10,000 and someone says, oh my, Robert, you should stop doing that. You keep losing money. You know, that fucking person right there around you, get away from them as quick as possible. Run out of that room. Guys, have a lot of Halloween parties this weekend. You got some coming up this week. You're going to be telling these stories, and people are going to be, oh, Robert, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the plumber cut the drain line and never came back and fixed it. You should quit. Like, just get away from him as quickly as possible. That's it, guys. Have a great Monday. Make some money today. 5 minutes right now. 5 minutes. What can you close today? What can you close this week? Make a list. Go after revenue generating activities on Monday. Go get it. Focus on that.